How much are these? Oh, $20,000. For that? Ridiculous. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2, playing our city of Second City. Today we are starting off with a time lapse. It goes till 6 minutes and 12 seconds. I'll have chapters linked in the description below, so if you hate time lapses, jump to the end and then I will walk through what we've done in the live play. But basically, I got really inspired the other day. I did not feel like recording my audio, but I was like, I really want to just like mess around in this city. I want to play. Let me just record what I do and I'll share it with you guys in post. So what I'm doing now is I purchased 2 new tiles of land. We're not actually going to build on those today, but I was just feeling ready to start laying out some roads. And I went through and started trying to connect this new road layout to our current city, which required me to make some changes to this main entrance interchange that we have for our downtown as it currently stands. And then I also just go through and just make some small changes all throughout. This was one of those projects that I wanted to do before I got too much further in building out our college area or finishing off kind of the lower portion of like the Dickinson Narrows section of our city, because I knew there was going to be a lot of changes to the roads to make all this fit. So I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy the rest of this video. You're going to see me jump between doing some highway work as well as some general road changes, but we'll review everything in the live play. Okay, so pretty significant time lapse there, if I do say so myself. And let's just keep our fingers crossed, because throughout that whole time lapse, the game did not crash once. And last episode, it crashed 6 times. So I'm hopeful that maybe whatever was happening is not happening anymore. I ended up building out this area, which I'm calling South Second, because we are in Second City. It is starting to become one of those places that's going to end up feeding into this new port area, or maybe not port, this coastal area. I originally wanted to have our port over here. It felt like it made a lot of sense to me, but with the way our air is going, I do think the port might need to be shifted over here. So I'm slowly working us down that direction and trying to expand the city somewhat. So we've got this kind of key wall here. I'm still workshopping this. I'm not certain this is going to stay. And then I've got some roads here. I put a key wall along the small alleyway here. It's causing some changes in our terrain. That's okay. What I want to do is try to make this feel kind of like South Philly in a way. Other than that, I just made some changes mainly to this area. If you remember before, we had a water collection pond right here. This southern part of Middle Peak was a little bit different, and now this is connected in a little bit of a different way. So now we've got an exit that comes along Woodland Highway, connects right here into Birch Street, which has been upgraded all the way over to here next to Poplar High School. Because of the school, I wasn't able to extend that upgrade any further, but not a lot of people take this area of the road, so it didn't actually feel that necessary. I straightened out this section here next to our college, and then I also went through and changed out this central road here, Sunset Street, and gave it angled parking all the way along up until we get to this point. At this point, I thought about going further, but I don't know, for some reason I decided to stop, and I'm happy with where it's at now. I did a little bit of upzoning here in this area. I added in one of these new EE high density buildings, which I think looks really nice right there. And I transitioned some of our low rent housing into medium density housing. There was some small detailing to kind of Spruce Street here. I added parking lots on either side, as well as a central park here in between that area. Did a bit more tree work over here and changed that around a little bit. I did think I had the terrain shadow turned off. Thank you to everyone who helped me try to figure that out. It's a little flat without the terrain casting shadows, but I think just all around that looks nicer than that really blocky shadow we had there. Finally, Concord Street, which is now becoming another major thoroughfare, is fully upgraded into an avenue, kind of mirroring what happens here with the highway, and it leads up and into our Warehouse Bend district. Now, what are the things I'm hoping to accomplish today? There are 3 things on the agenda. All of them relate to education. 2 of them are pretty small. So the first one is going to be I want to upgrade the Sterling Elementary School. It made a lot of sense when we were a small city. Now it's in one of the densest parts of the city and absolutely is not big enough for what we're working with. Second, I want to add in a new high school to the Boulder Hill, Willow Terrace area. We got to figure out where that is going to go. And then finally, I want to spend most of the episode today working on our college campus and adjusting one of our train lines. The Elizabeth Crossing train station initially made a lot of sense, but now that we've started to add on to South Second and expand our city southward, I think we need to maybe rethink where that train station is going. Right here, in the center of all of these higher-rise buildings, we've got the Sterling Street Small Elementary School. It can hold 600 students. It has 2 extensions on it. And although it worked great when we first started this area, I don't think it makes sense now where it's located. It's too small and it doesn't do what we need it to do. It cannot support all these people. It also is only operating in the Longview district, so I think deleting it and placing something else there, it's a bit larger, would be beneficial. What options do we have for elementary school? I will say, I do wish there was tabs over here. We've got a pack tab as well as snapping and topography. We should have, especially for these types of buildings where they're lumping in tons of different things within the same category. I know they're all schools, but it would be nice, to have an elementary, high school, college, university filter, so I can just look at those buildings as individual buildings. So let's see. We've got a UK secondary school, which I think functions as a high school. It's also very large. I can't wait to work with that. Suburban primary school. Again, this actually might fit. How many students can go here? 1,000 students. Urban elementary school, though, 1,200 students. I like the height of that. I think the height of this building fits nicely with the surrounding buildings. This only fits 100 kids. What? That's it? That's so small. Let's go ahead and do the urban elementary school. I want to have it face the same the same road. I'm going to place this right here. Absolutely remarkable. It does have some upgrades, so let's get a sense of what these are. I'm going to just call this Longview Elementary. It's only going to operate here in Longview. And let's look at what we have. We have an urban playground. The activities provided on the rooftop playground include hopscotch and a nice skyline view, which increases well-being to citizens. And then we also have an extension wing, more space for more pupils, and a hangout terrace on the second floor. Does that just tack onto the back? How much does that cost to place? $22,000 with an additional 500 kids? Let's do it. Let's really just set this guy up. Make people really excited to live near this thing. I would also love to have it stop raining. Place some trees along both sides. Just some additional barriers for noise and everything. I think that's great. I think this road becomes a parking lot. I know we already have a multi-level parking lot right over there, but I happen to know they fit basically perfectly inside of these roads, and I like the idea of having another parking lot in here. We could also say, screw that little path and place this facing this exterior road, Green Street. I know it's technically across the way from some smaller houses. However, I want people to turn off and into this parking garage from not the main Maple Street. So we'll have them come in from Green. To offset the increased traffic, I will also, at least for this segment, upgraded to have 2 lanes along that section of Green Street. So now we have a new entrance here. And then right here in this section, maybe we just kind of build our own little thing here. Make it look nice, but kind of keep it simple. So now we've got a little new park there. I love that. Second on the list is a new high school for Boulder Hill. I did finish in between parts, just building out this final block here. I upgraded this entire interior section into terraced housing, so now it all matches. And I added in just a little bit of EE mixed housing along this row, as well as a small path behind the back. So this just looks a bit more finished here. Willow Terrace technically is enrolled in this high school, but I don't think that that is working. This high school can only support 600 students. It is serving Middle Peak, Dickinson Narrows, Briarwood, Elizabeth Crossing, and Willow Terrace. I think Middle Peak and Dickinson Narrows are going to need to have their own high school. We could either sneak that over here into this empty space, or we could commandeer some of these low density houses. This one right here is a low density house, little cozy street house, and just kind of rework these blocks to fit this in. So let's go ahead and get rid of this pathway. I do see there's 1 or 2 people on it. I'm so sorry, guys. You're going to have to move. Let's look at what we got going on here. Small high school is too tiny. We have the big high school, way too large. The EE high school, which I have not built before, it can support 800 students. It would fit perfectly in here. I'm curious if it has any expansions. French high school, I just think the style is not going to make sense in this area. Although it would be a nice kind of change from what we currently have over here. It can hold 2,500 students. And this area is only going to get more dense. You know what? I think we do it. I think we do it. What does it cost for me to scoot it over one? $56,000? It's such a waste of money. But we're going to scoot it over just one. That way the high school is right up against this little area of parking. Behind this, do we have a means to get a parking lot in here? I don't believe there's any kind of 2-lane parking that goes against the road in that way. Alternatively, we could dezone these 2 homes. I'm so sorry, guys. and instead look into some type of parking alleyway. Let's see if we do a 1-lane perpendicular parking road, 1-lane angled parking road. Could that go in here? Should we connect it in, or should we just have it come like right up to here and call it quits? Or do we do an angled alley? See, that's too large. That's not too large. It would have to connect all the way through, which does cause some strangeness here with this parking. But I think what we do is we come over here, we grab maybe not an oak tree, maybe a birch, throw on anarchy, slap a birch right there. That looks beautiful. Now we have some additional parking along Willow Lane for the residents, and then we have this school here. Let's just put a few more of these trees right along the edge. I liked the spacing of these. I think they looked nice, and I think it just gives us a little bit extra something. Perfect. Now, this is going to operate here in Dickinson Narrows as well as Middle Peak for now. This high school is also at 100% usage. It's operating in a large number of districts. So I think what we do is we allow this high school to also operate in Horsham Flats and Bedford. So now we've kind of spread out some of that usage a little bit. I removed the pathway from this road, which actually goes all the way along here. And I'm almost regretting having done that. But let's go ahead and just for now, put it back. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry, everyone. Don't snap to the sides of buildings. Let's just keep that there for now. So we've now offset Dickinson Narrows a little bit. Let's come back over here. Let's remove Dickinson and Middle Peak from Poplar High School. So we got Dickinson High kind of serving this area. Also Bedford Meadow High covering this area. So we've got 2 schools there now. Over here, we've reduced the number of students who can attend Poplar High, and it looks like we have dropped down 10%, or excuse me, 10 students, which is great. Now what we need to do is figure out how to get a high school over here into Boulder Hill and Willow Terrace. I think we go ahead, remove Willow Terrace from that entirely. In between these 2 districts, we've got 340 uneducated, 12, almost 1,300 poorly educated. Over here, we have 182 uneducated and 900 poorly educated. This might also hit its peak. Who knows? So I think what we could do, first and foremost, I think we add an expansion here to our elementary school. I think we can also consider adding, a little clinic building here. And then we can either put the high school over here, or we can try to find a place to nestle it in with the rest of this area. One place we could look into is right here. We have a parking lot across the street from the elementary school. It's flat land real estate, and it would be primed for having a little bit of a glow up. So what if, I don't think that building would make sense here at all. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's look at this high school real quick. Oh, it's huge. Huge, huge, huge. Ain't no way. They're too big. Those are suburban schools. We will get to those, just not yet. Let's look into doing an urban high school potentially. Or do we didn't end up doing the modern high school. That can hold 1,700 students. It would overlap this parking lot, honestly, nearly perfectly. So I think we're going to do it. We already have a bus stop in this location, which in the next few episodes here at some point we will be managing our bus stops. We're going to limit this to operating both in Willow Terrace and Boulder Hill, and then let's look at some of the upgrades that this building has. First of all, it's gorgeous. It is very modern. But we could do a few things. There's an additional teaching building, which we could kind of overtake some of this landscape and make this into a little bit of a complex. The additional teaching building gives an additional 1,000 student capacity. There's also a student dormitory, which gives another 200 student capacity. And there's mindfulness rooms, which give mindfulness exercises, regulate emotional stress, which is $1,000 a month. We're sure this is a high school. This is like mad fancy for being a high school. So for now, we don't need to do any of those expansions, but I am wondering if we should consider those expansions as we look into some other areas of our city that need new buildings, or excuse me, more education. Let's go ahead and add in a new parking lot somewhere here as you go into the industrial area. There's also a very large, which I am a fan of, and I almost wonder if we want to place this here. We want to get rid of these connections. Let's replace this road without a turning lane in the center. And we can just reconnect this back up. I don't actually know if it needs to be a 4-lane like that. But you know what? Let's future-proof a little bit and let's let it be a 4-lane. I'm fine with that. Just get that angle perfect. Connect that right on in. Now we've got a whole new parking lot, really meant to service this area, but could also act as overflow for those who go to the elementary school. Now my goal is to mess around with our college. Now I do recognize that we are sitting on some fertile land, which is renewable, which is great. Whereas if you look at our ore or our oil, they have no renewable land. However, this particular block is going to become a prime place for our college to be. It's going to be relatively centrally located. It's going to be near the downtown, and we could really begin to upgrade the neighborhoods around it. So what I want to do is I do want to go ahead and remove these two businesses, our vegetables and our cotton. My thinking is we could take this train line. We could bring it, have a stop here, bring it over here somewhere and build out a central station, either here or over here. It would be close to a potential port that we could then have tourists come, get on the central station and go from there. And we could build a second train station out of our central station, or excuse me, a second train line out of our central station and send it up through South 2nd, across Cypress, and start heading out this direction. So now we'll have a train line going northwest-ish, northeast-ish, far east, west, and south, which is going to just end up dead ending because, you know, we're in this part of the world. We're right on the edge of the map. But I think it would mean that we're going to have a train station and a train network that branches out in a way that's really going to be beneficial for our citizens. Let's go ahead and just move this. I am going to pause for this for the sole reason that I don't want to totally screw up the train line. Let's start by leveling out some land. We're going to explore this together. I have a vision. I just am unclear on if this vision is going to work in the way I hope it will. If we level out some land right here, and we move this train station over this direction. Let's first place down a 4-lane road. We're going to come right off of this road here, send it out perfectly straight. And I think, I honestly think we leave it just like that. Like if this is here, they almost line up with the rest of that. We could consider having a 1-lane road come across like so, come out 2 units, turn all this off. Let's just connect here to the grids. 2 units and 2 units, 2 units and 2 units. So now we've got Sunnyside Lane. I think we move the Elizabeth Crossing train station. I think what we end up doing is Pinewood Acres College. I think the college needs to get a new name, which means our train station also needs a new name. So let's get rid of all this district's connections. Now, the name of the college, let's give it a name. We're going to call it Trafford College. Great. So now we have Trafford College. This is going to be the Elizabeth Trafford train station. We're going to pretend that Elizabeth Trafford is a person, and Elizabeth Trafford founded like this area. Who knows? She founded the college. The town grew up next to it. Make up whatever story we want. All right, so then what we're going to do is, because of where we're at, I think, honestly, we're just going to go right in, and we're going to just level crossing the whole way through. I don't see a need for us to raise or lower in such a low density area. I know it's also going to end up changing soon, and this area is going to become much higher density, but for now, I think it's fine. We're going to back this up even further. I'm just going to connect right into here, and at the 180, we're going to cut right on through. This is then going to find its way of curving into here. Beautiful. Then the question is, do we have a second? I mean, is this, I don't even think I can do this. I don't think you're allowed to have them next to each other like that. You are. Can I really do that? Hold on. What? Like a double crossing. What is this? Mixed suburban shops. Okay. The suburban shops are going to go here next to this parking lot. I love that. Huge fan. So now if I were to bring this right from here straight on out, we could have a second train cut right through. I did not think that would be allowed. If you hate it, holler in the comments. Let me know why you hate it and what we should do differently. But I kind of like the idea of having this double lane go right on through. I think that's great. Now, the one problem we're going to have is this is much, much, much higher than the other side. So what I want to do here is do a little bit of work on this landscaping. Let's grab this height. Let's reduce the size. We're going to bring this height up to the highway itself and over to this road. Flatten out this entire area. It's going to all make sense in a minute. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I'm choosing to believe this is going to make sense in a minute. I also think, unfortunately for everyone, we might actually move this college a little bit too. So that may need to change as well. I wouldn't mind having it, honestly, directly across the street from the college, or excuse me, from the train station. I do think it makes sense. But let's first do some changes before we go too crazy. Let's grab our 1 lane road. Let's snap just to zone grids. I'm going to come here. Oh. Delete, delete, delete. Get a curve going. I want to go 2 curves or 2 points out from there, and then we can go straight along. Then here, we're going to bring it all the way to here. Go 2 out and 2 in. So there we now have like a slip lane for everyone who needs access to this train station. Let's go ahead and give this waiting room extensions, 2 additional buildings that provide waiting space and services to the Voyagers. Additionally, this upgrade extends the platform canopies to shield larger area from the rain. Go ahead and put that on there. I'm happy with that. And then I do think I want to go ahead and shift this building around, but here's what I want to do. I would like to increase kind of the capacity of this road in some way. We could do it like this with some perpendicular parking, or we could do it with some angled parking. I know I just unpaused, but I'm repausing. I feel like something like this is $2,000. 4-lane asymmetrical, again, $2,000. I don't know how to articulate what I was thinking would go here. I think what I really want, and maybe we can just test this. What I really want is a road like so. Can I get rid of... I can get rid of some of the parking. Oh, this is happening. This is happening. So what I was thinking is we upgrade this central road into one that has parking on both sides. I like the idea of the perpendicular, but I want the perpendicular to go the other way. I don't want it to go that way. So maybe we'll just keep it like this. We are going to remove that crosswalk there. And better yet, I think we just delete both of those. And we just rebuild this straight on through. By default, it adds in a crosswalk I don't love. But in some ways, it does make sense. Now, on the one side of this, we are going to place both trees. And I was going to say trees and grass, but it doesn't look like I'm able to do that. So instead, let's upgrade the trees across from here into some larger spruces and make them look meaningful. Then we're going to move our college as central to this as possible. And actually, what I would like to do is, if that's going to be where the college goes, let's try to get this road to fit nicely. If we set this up as two individual connections, there we go. We can have that crosswalk right there in the center, which I think is great. Now let's go ahead, put the larger trees right there on Trafford College. And we've got the college and a train station all combined together into one. That's perfect. Now, for the time being, I do think we go ahead. Let's look over what we have here. We have UK low density detached housing. Let's go in and grab the same thing here. UK low density detached housing. Fill in all of this area with said housing. And frankly, just fill in all of that until we come back and make changes there. And around here, we can give a little bit more UK low density detached. And let that all start to fill out. I think that's going to look nice. Now we've got power and water and a number of other things all connected there, which is great. Let's get rid of all of this so that you guys can have a shot at building some larger homes. We've got some train lines right on through. It has not impacted our actual train station, or excuse me, our train line, which is perfect. And now we've got our college moved into a bit of a better area. Let's see if we can level out the rest of this land. Again, just along this side. This does need a roundabout. I do think that having a roundabout here was nice. I like the idea of having something like really robust and cool. Maybe the large floral can go there. It's just kind of the entrance to Trafford College. Do we want to entertain either of these upgrades? We have a college library and we have an extension wing. We don't need this now, but we have the option later. And we also have a college library. So let's see about building out a little bit more to this area. I think a college library could look really nice right over here. And I think we could leverage this intersection that we already have here. Let's turn on all of our snap 2s. Have this full-on intersection here. Gives you the option to turn this way. And then let's see if we can fit our library in here. We cannot. It's too big. Now, can we still fit this? We can. So let's place this one in so it's perfectly centered on Umber Street. So now we've got a new expansion to this building. We are seeing our money dwindle. Subsidies 2,000, service upkeep 4,000, service trade 145,000. It's mainly coming from imported electricity. It's something I do want to address in the next part. We're going to build out a new electricity plant. That way we can begin to offload the electricity onto other people and make some money from that. Now we need to figure out how these train lines are getting down here. This is a drop. This is a drop. If we check here and we go flat, we're at 95.51 meters over here on this hill. We come down here, we're at 64. We have to go down 30 meters somehow. I don't know how we're going to do that. So let's just start by working with our pass-through lane. This lane here is going to come right on through, likely won't have any stops. Let's send this all the way over here to point negative. Let's go up to here. Oh, I want it to be straight. Right there is negative 0.1, which is perfect. Now the question is, can we have this cross on over at a reasonable grade change without going totally crazy on me? Like, why do we need that extra support there? Right there, we don't technically need it. So we're going to place this right here. At the moment, it's pretty high, but that's okay. We're coming out of the train station. This is going to connect into here. Then at this point, we need to consider how this goes downhill. I think to do that, I need to be ready to build out our central station, which may go here. It may go here. I know we don't have the money for it right now. So for now, we're going to leave that alone just like that. We will then connect this other train track into the main station here. We go to our curve tool. Let's just go like this. I think curve at this support and then connect over here at this support. I think that's perfect. Looks good enough to me. You drive underneath of this really high train track. That's fine. Things are working okay here. 86 comfort, 16 passengers waiting. Great. Now we've got this other section of land here that we're going to want to work with. And I think what I'd like to have over here are some sports fields. So let's look over here at our parks and let's go to the large sports fields. We have an American football field as well as a soccer field. Ideally, I'd love to fit both of them. I think that would look amazing to have two really, really large sports fields over here. I think what I want to do is I want to entertain having a road that goes right along the back of the train line. Now bear with me, I don't actually know how this is going to work just yet. But what I want to see is if with that there, can we fit this in here? We can. It butts right up to the road, but that's not a problem. We could place this road, or this field right here. We could extend this road to here, but then have it end. Just kind of dead ends here. Not really anywhere for people to stay or live. But we could also consider this instead. Hold on, I just had another thought. See, this is going to be a lot of back and forth. I hope that's okay with everyone, but so much of this is just me trying to figure things out as I go. Also, so much of this is me wasting money because I don't know what I'm doing, and then I end up building things that, well, they cost more money to build twice than it does just to build once. If we were to curve this road into here, it would limit how far back that can go. If we went straight into here, we then have a double intersection. What we could consider is turning this intersection into a one-way road. Better yet, we could consider turning this entire road into a pedestrian street, completely bypassing the cars. Just use a pedestrian street all the way along this backside here. Scoot the Trafford College station over to here. We will go through and do some detailing in a bit, but before we do, I am going to just jump in here and extend that area so that's filled out nicely. That looks really nice there and fits pretty well. Then I think we need to figure out how we place back here our other field. Let's see. We've got the American football field. I do want to have parking access for the American football field. So I think what I have to figure out is how. We have two options. Option one is we bridge directly over. Not a bad option. Perfectly valid option. We could go like this. We could connect it up. And we could connect it right on in.
2 hours later.
So now we have this kind of overarching curve that leads over into this area. Now what we want to figure out is how does the football field play into this? Let's place the moderate parking lot along here. It's a little bit smaller than I had anticipated. However, I think we can make this work. Immediately next to the moderate parking lot, you place the stadium. We then place a road. Turn everything on. It's not the right road. Place the correct road here first. Then connect directly into this area. Now on either side of this, we place more parking lots. I'm thinking of like Lincoln Financial. It's a field here in Pennsylvania where the Eagles play. You have like a parking lot A and a parking lot B. And I'm wondering if that's similar to what we try to accomplish here, where we have multiple parking lots that you can access. This goes back how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we then bring this up a little bit further? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we send this road from here? At the moment, just do that. Screw it. How much are these? Oh, $20,000. For that? Ridiculous. Place this here and kind of build the parking lots around this area. Right? Like so. Not bad. Not bad. Delete the road. Send this straight on through to here. Send this straight on through to here. Get rid of this little road. Scooch this over. Does not scoot over. I guess we could move it to do that. I want to take this and just bring it over a little bit further like that. Great. So now we've got 3 parking lots. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this whole area with this texture. There we go. That's beautiful. That works great. So now we've got this kind of college complex area. They've got a additional library. They have the college itself, plus they have this overflow parking area. I wonder if this one is even valuable anymore. Now that I'm seeing it laid out, I kind of like how confined this section was. Let's then go in here, upgrade Cooper Lane to have a key wall all the way along the edge. Do we do it along Briarwood Street? No, I think we could consider putting something there in the future. But then we can just come in here. We can level this out some and make this look real nice. Make it look real nice. I was wondering how it knew what to do here, but I guess it's because I have this, I have the smooth slope or whatever, the gradient thing on. Yeah, that's perfect. Now we do have this strange moment. Oh, it's because it's the end of that. Okay, if that's how it's going to look, go ahead and give it that wall. They just cap that off. And we can't put anything along this little center area. So I think all of this also gets a key wall, only so it looks like there's a railing there and we're purposefully keeping people from, getting to the train. That looks actually fantastic. Let's add in a few trees kind of all the way throughout. Let's just see what we end up with. Okay, so now I got some trees going over to the fields. We've added in this beautiful building here. Let's do a little bit more work over in this area. I think what we could consider is taking this section here. Just gonna do a little kind of drag and hope that it works. I think we make this kind of like a little quad-ish area. So it's intentionally a little bit paved there. No big deal. I think along the entrance here, we are going to want to have it look a little bit nicer. So let's do some trees. I don't want them on the sides of the road per se, but I could get into doing, a small little collection of them next to each other. Maybe if we go to 20 meters across, can we fit 3? We can. So we'll do 3 and 3 there as you enter into the college. Along this area, I think we need some trees kind of all along this back. Okay, so now we've got the trees kind of going along the back, which looks great. Now I think we got to do a little bit more here. I would love to add in some less official kind of playing areas for the students and the staff. So let's put 2. I wanted to do the tennis courts. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm just wasting money. Let's do a tennis court. I was going to do 2, but maybe we just do 1 tennis court along the back here. We bring in a pathway, turn off snap to the building. We send this straight on up this side as well, straight on over. Then I think what we can do is we send it right along the back, but then I think we begin to do a little bit more curve. Just connect it up that way. So we've got that path kind of going along the backside there. Right here, we have basically just open access to the train line, which isn't ideal, but I don't know if there's much we're able to do there. And then I think I would like to, let's look at our signature buildings and kind of see what we've got going on here. We have 1 small like residential building I don't think would fit. We do have these bookshops, which could be kind of cute in this area. Then we also have some other larger spaces. I want to save that supermarket for a better area for sure. There is a little 3-star hotel, which would kind of be like kind of fun to nestle a little hotel back here. We could pretend it's like, you know, the dean's house or something. There's also a pub, which I think could look really cool over in this area. What if we had a pub? Hold the phone. What if we had a pub right here by this exit? So you're parked over here, and after the game, you can come over here and go to the pub. I think that's a great idea. Place this here. Clear off that little guy. Let's place the larger Fox Inn pub right here. Get a sense of what that looks like. I think that's perfect. I am going to consider taking an alleyway right along the back here and just connecting it behind the building more as like a delivery alleyway. I know in real life you've got, you know, this little set of parking here, but I like the idea of having that there. We could also go ahead and put down the additional parking over here, although I'm not sure if I love it. If we did it, it almost needs to be the main road. I don't think I like this at all. So no, we're not going to do that at all. We're going to leave that just like so. That's totally fine with me. But now we have a little pub over here. I will go through, you know, obviously in between parts and do a bit more just general detailing, making sure everything looks really polished and looks really good. But for the moment, I'm just kind of messing around, trying to move somewhat quickly so that I can edit this video into something enjoyable. We'll do one more here. We'll do a few more trees here, just kind of barring that off from people walking around in the woods. Okay. And then in this area, I really do like the idea of having a 3-star hotel over here. I think what we do is we use an alleyway for this so that people are not parking directly in front of the 3-star hotel. Grab the hotel from this area. There's a 5-star country hotel. I think that's a little bit too much. But then there's also a 3-star country hotel. It's a bit too close to that pathway. I can happily move that pathway. But then this can kind of function as, you know, the president's mansion or like, you know, the administrative offices even. Like that's kind of where you go to register and stuff. Then you go here for classes. There's a library. I think all of that kind of plays together pretty nicely. We now have also given a lot more access to our college itself, which I'm also hoping helps increase some of the enrollment, which would be great. Let's get some kind of roundabout here. I think that looks kind of nice. Let's wrap up this pathway here, which we had going along this side. we'll send it right in, but I want to not get a crosswalk if we can avoid it. Perfect. We're just going to do it like this, I think. Go right on back and through. Get rid of this little nub there. Now you've got another connection. And we could do an additional connection right here. Straight into that roundabout. I do think I need a little bit more tree work to be done. We can do some real quick, and the rest I think we'll do off camera. And then the last thing I think we need to do is just add a surface over really most of this. We're going to do the paved grass. And what I'm going to do, can I just cut right through all of this? I can. So let's cut all the way through this area. Okay. Guys, I think we've done it. This is our new college campus. I'm just going to snap a quick screenshot of that because that's just fantastic. I still want to do a little bit of detailing, especially right here in this kind of quad area, but just seeing the number of people hanging out, walking around in between the different neighborhoods, connecting here to the train station. I mean, we are getting some great movement from these citizens, and I love it. And I'm really excited just about everything we've got going on over here now. We do have some homeless living in our stadiums. That's to be expected. And our team really isn't that good yet because they were just founded. But now we have a brand new college right here in the heart of our city, Trafford College. Oh, I'm so excited about this. So in between parts, I am going to do a little bit more detailing. I think we could do a little bit more work here next to this kind of quad area. I might put some tables and benches around, maybe some fencing, who knows. Over here, I think we're going to probably leave this pretty much the same. There's not many changes I want to make there. But if you have any ideas of where we should take this train line now that it connects across the street from the college and bring it down into this area, let me know. Unfortunately, all of this is going pretty much just downhill the whole time. Our flattest area is right here. So what I would like to see is getting this kind of into this flat area somehow. I don't know if there's going to be enough space, and then building out a central station somewhere over here. But for now, I'm really excited about how this has turned out. It looks phenomenal. Do I wish I would have used the angled parking spots? Yes. However, I wanted them to angle a different way than I could get them to work. So we're sticking with perpendicular, but she looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you all in the next one.